And Major Garrett is in Washington, good enough to join us this morning. Major, first to ask you about the staying power. We may be perhaps any individual have you no decency, sir moment here, but what to make of the staying power and perhaps the accumulation of events such as the one we are now seeing between Trump and the Khan family?
Well, the story is going to go on for at least another day, but Republicans I talked to over the weekend said a day or two, it doesn't really matter. The damage has been done, and they sat in disbelief over this weekend, astonished that this would happen, that Donald Trump would find himself in another controversy, and that many Republicans would have to find themselves distancing themselves from their nominee yet again. For many Republicans I spoke to this weekend, both here in Washington and around the country, this story had an echo, very similar to the one, a painful one from their perspective, that Trump reminded them of with the criticism of the federal judge overseeing his Trump University fraud case. Trump said repeatedly that judge, Mexican descent, born in the United States in Indiana, might not be capable of handling the judicial obligations of that case because he was Mexican or of Mexican descent. This all feels very same to the Republicans that I talked to this weekend, and they are dismayed, to put it mildly. And they see this as a problem of Trump's making, and one only he can solve if he apologizes, appears contrite, and tries to move on. But from their perspective, losing an entire weekend after Hillary Clinton's convention and being wrapped around this controversy is yet another example why Trump is a problematic standard bearer for many Republicans.
And he has already, as Donald Trump tweeted again this morning, again speaking of the vicious attack of Mr. Khan. And with regard to the responses of Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, we see that tweet, Mr. Khan, who does not know me, viciously attacked me from the stage of the DNC and is now all over TV doing the same. Nice. We saw Mike Pence, Trump's own running mate now, throw in with a very similar statement to that of House Speaker Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Is there an impact, though, for Donald Trump's base, 90% or so of whom have said they've made up their mind?
Probably not. The question for Trump is how large is that base, and is there any ability to expand it? And does it cover all Republicans who have previously shown up in presidential elections? And the one other thing I would share with our audience in my conversations this week, and there are Republicans who are Trump supporters who acknowledged this was a mistake, a potentially injurious mistake, one that could last and leave a mark on Trump for a good long while. But they also were very quick to say, why is there this double standard? Why does Hillary Clinton get away, from their perspective, with all sorts of things, the emails, the non-indictment but very harsh criticism from the FBI director, Benghazi, all these other things? There is this pocket of support for Trump among Republicans and others who see this media fascination with this story as something approximating piling on, at least from their perspective. And that will create residual support for Trump. It will harden those who want to stay in his camp and feel that the media maybe overemphasizes certain stories and de-emphasizes others. And when they see that trend line, they see it, from their perspective, disproportionately hurting Trump and shielding Clinton. So there is that aspect of this story that I think we cannot ignore when it comes to Trump supporters and their willingness to stay in the Trump camp.
So much to keep our eye on here in the next 24 hours. I know you'll be doing that for us. Major Garrett in Washington. As always, we appreciate it.
Sure.